Good evening and welcome to Ogtv News. I am Mojisola Shulaja. We begin with our top stories. Ogun State Government maps out plan towards 2024 integrated measles vaccination campaign. Federal government officially terminates fuel and foreign exchange subsidies. Independent National Electoral Commission announces November 6, 2025 as date for off-cycle governorship election in Anambra State. Kenya's deputy president in hospital ahead of impeachment votes.
Marketers say NNPC still sold Dangote petrol buyer. I'll be back with details of these and more in the business segment of the news tonight. I am Siwaladi Fireson.
Coming up on sports segment of the news, Nigeria's under-17 women's football team whips New Zealand 4-1 in World Cup opener. I'll be back with more on these stories and others from the world of sport. I am Shuyi Halao. Stay with us.
What we fear of doing most is usually what we most need to do. You can watch us live on Facebook at Ogtv and Ogun State Television, YouTube at Ogtv Abeokuta, and on Ogtv website www.ogtv.com.ng/live. For the latest news and reports, check us on these platforms: X at Ogtv, Instagram at Ogun State Television, or download Ogtv app on Apple Store and Google Play Store. In a bid to intensify efforts in the control of the highly contagious disease like measles, Ogun State government, through Ogun State Health Insurance Agency, has mapped out plans to give vaccination to children before the year runs out through the implementation of 2024 Integrated Measles Vaccination Campaign. The initiative, which targeted more than 1 million children from age 9 months to 59 months, spread in the 20 local government, is to be held from 19th to 25th October 2024. Olaide Oloye reports.
Measles is a highly contagious airborne disease caused by a virus that can lead to severe complications and death, with the aim of protecting children against measles and rubella, which are highly contagious viral diseases. Ogun State government, through Ogun State Health Insurance Agency, is set to implement the 2024 Integrated Measles Vaccination Campaign. Speaking about the importance of the vaccination, Commissioner for Health, Dr. Tomi Koka, called on parents and caregivers to take advantage of the campaign by taking their children to the designated centers across the 236 wards of the 20 local government areas of the state to get their children vaccinated against the disease.
Over 5,000 health workers will be deployed in teams to various posts during the 7-day campaign. I would like to inform us that the campaign will involve the use of government health facilities, both primary, secondary, and tertiary. We'll also be using our churches, our mosques, markets, schools, parks, and garages, and other designated temporary posts. The state government has also provided funds to ensure children in hard-to-reach and difficult terrains in various local governments will not be left out of this campaign.
Measles vaccine is fundamental to protecting the child into healthy children in future. In a bid to control the misconception of the vaccine, parents are given awareness of the importance of vaccination, which is safe, effective, and free of charge.
No mother, no caregiver, no guardian should pay 1 kobo for the vaccination of their child between the ages of 9 and 59 months. Therefore, taking this medium to call on all parents, guardians, and caregivers to take advantage of this campaign and the investment of the government in our children aged 9 months to 59 to ensure that they attend the designated centers across our 236 wards in our 20 local government areas to ensure that their children get vaccinated against this highly contagious killer disease, which is preventable.
The one-week campaign will be flagged off on the 18th October 2024 at St. Peter's Anglican Primary School in Obafemi Owode local government area of the state, and then hold simultaneously till 25th of October. Olaide Oloye, Ogtv News.
Ophthalmologists have called on parents to prioritize early eye examination for their children and take proper care of their eyes. They emphasized the need for adequate attention to the eyes for longer and quality life. Olaide Oloye again has the details.
According to research, cataract is the leading cause of blindness in the world and affects nearly 20.5 million Americans aged 40 and older. To this end, World Sight Day is being observed every second Thursday of October to raise awareness about preventable eye diseases and the importance of early intervention. A consultant, public health optometrist, Dr. Ibrahim Obraimo, urged Nigerians to take proper care of their eyes, which are the windows to the world, as proper eye care ensures longer and quality life.
They say charity begins at home. So children don't know anything. It is whatever you teach them, that's what they know. So for children to love their eyes, their parents must have loved their eye. And so as parents, we should ensure that we teach them to see how to prevent anything that will cause harm to their eye.
Medical practitioners also emphasize the importance of early detection in preventing vision loss or blindness caused by common eye issues in children, noting that many cases of childhood visual impairment are due to ignorance, lack of awareness, or stigma around wearing corrective glasses.
First of all, there are some things that you observe about your children that you know that, okay, this child have refractive error. One of them is when the child always moves close to the TV. That's a tendency that the child is short-sighted. That's also known as myopia. And if the child is always complaining of headache, there might be tendency that the child have a refractive error, also known as astigmatism.
Mothers should pay attention to early signs of vision problems, such as a child not making eye contact during breastfeeding or failing to respond with a social smile by 3 months.
Implore parents to need to take care of those children by giving them the right food rich in fruits, vegetables, and all of that. And if there are issues with the eyes, they should meet with the eye care professionals.
An optometrist, Dr. Okereke Ogochukwu, says early diagnosis and treatment of eye diseases are critical to maintaining a child's vision as well as healthy eyes.
There's a part of the sun that emits what we call ultraviolet rays. UV rays affects the eyes very harmfully. So I advise children to start wearing glasses that has UV protection. And that way they will protect the eyes from UV light that damages the eyes. Good eye health is a way of securing your future. If you don't have good eye health, obviously academically that child will not do well. So once you secure good eye health, you have secured your future.
This year's theme, which focuses on children's eye health, expressed concerns about the stigma preventing children from wearing prescribed spectacles. Even when children have access to eye care, many refuse to wear glasses due to the fear of being teased. Olaide Oloye, Ogtv News.
Away from health-related matters, the federal government has officially announced the termination of fuel and foreign exchange subsidies, marking the end of a long-debated policy. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edu, made this declaration during the presentation of the Nigeria Development Update by the World Bank in Abuja. Edu revealed that these subsidies had drained the country's economy, costing over 10 trillion naira, which amounts to 5% of Nigeria's gross domestic product. The minister also announced a new government plan aimed at addressing unemployment with a focus on house and finance. This initiative, he explained, would feature a mortgage scheme offering near single-digit interest rates. The government expects this approach to boost construction activities and generate significant job creation. Bauchi State Governor Bala Muhammad also participated in the discussion. He expressed concern over the insufficient funds allocated to some state governments through the Federation Accounts Allocation Committee. World Bank's Senior Vice President and Chief Economist wrapped up the discussion by calling on Nigeria's economic units, monetary, fiscal, and other units to collaborate more effectively. In the wake of recent hike in pump price of fuel, Ogun State government has been engaging critical stakeholders in the transport sector to fashion out ways of cushioning the effect by appealing to transporters not to increase fares. A special task force was then constituted to monitor compliance in all parks and garages across the state. Nkem Agu reports that the team was in Ewekoro and Ifo local government areas in continuation of the exercise. The reports.
For the third consecutive day, the team has been out to fulfill its mandate by Ogun State government in bringing succor to all and sundry. And it is to visit all parks commuting passengers on both intra and interstate routes and ensure transport fare chargeable is not out of reach of Nigerians. The exercise is being facilitated by officials of Ogun State Ministry of Transportation, and it took the team to both Ewekoro and Ifo local government areas in a move to bring cooperation among transport unions in various parks across the state, particularly by stabilizing the transportation fare. The team visited major parks at Itori, Pakwalanto, Ifo, and Songwater along the ever-busy Abeokuta-Ota-Lagos highway. Some travelers who spoke with Ogtv News pleaded with the government on the fuel price increment as its attendant effect on their daily activities, especially on transportation, is enormous.
Then it increased to 4,000 naira. Afterward, it's increased to 4,500. Now it's not 5,000 naira. Like, it's not really convenient.
Before it was 2,000 naira to 5, but now they've increased it to 3,500, 4,000 naira. It's really affecting everyone now. It's not easy because the money itself is not easy to see.
It's not that I enter motor here, but the people that I asked there just told me that before it was 1,500 that they are carrying it here, but now as I reach here today, they are carrying it to 5.
To the transporters, the business has been at the lowest ebb, lamenting the hike in fuel price has grossly affected their profit margin.
I load from Itori to Ifo. Before we used to carry it 400, 500 per passenger, and we buy for 2,000 naira. But now we now carry 700 naira. Fuel is now 1,250, which is not profitable to any of us. Even for us to see passenger is very difficult.
Before the fuel increment, what we charge 3,035. Now from that time when the fuel became 1,000 plus, we are still collecting that 3,500 naira till today. Right? There are sometimes where we know things are very hard because we don't have enough passengers. Sometimes we bring it to 3,000 sometimes to 5.
We are buying 1,250 naira per liter. At most 1,300. Wow, it's less than 1,200, 1,250. So, both say why is it right? It's not about my lover, about my boy. It is actually could be 60 liters. It will be like big. So I need to do I believe to back wale can rama pada lo. No la farada for now. But we are running at lost. Total lost.
The exercise continues to other parks in the state as government is determined to mitigate effects of the ash economy on its citizens. Nkem Agu, Ogtv News.
Mental health experts have reacted to a recent report projecting a percentage increase that mental illnesses would worsen in 2024 as a result of economic crisis. Nigerians were, however, urged to be their brother's keeper by checking up on those who might have complained of being stressed. Bolaji Samson reports.
Following the demands of the economic realities in the wake of fuel subsidy removal, seasoned mental health experts have reacted to a statement that the biting economic crisis in the country could increase the rate of mental illnesses. They affirmed that the present economic conditions have significantly affected the people's ability to meet their needs and has further predisposed them to stress.
Realities on ground is that yes, there is increase in fuel price, there is increase in skyrocketing price of goods in the market. But the truth of the matter is, if we can guide jealously our intrinsic motivation, we can actually control how these things affect us psychologically and mentally.
People are now living with difficulties. People don't even know where their next meal will come from, and all these things impact negatively on people's mental well-being.
Experts say insecurity, kidnapping, banditry, and armed robbery, among other vices which is on the increase, could create an impact on the lives of the victims involved. Those individuals are predisposed to developing mental health conditions.
We are not mentally stable because the present situation of the country is affecting almost everybody. Your place of work, your home, so you are disturbed. So to feed your family of two now, we are struggling to make ends meet, and that can give you a whole lot of burden, and that can make you to lose your mind and misbehave.
Towards surviving the economic crisis, they highlighted some strategies that individuals and families could adopt to cope with the current challenges, like categorizing one's savings, cutting expenditure, reducing debt, and increased sources of income.
So you need to take some precautions. You need to exercise, you need to rest, and make sure that you don't unnecessarily exert yourself. You need to cope with what you need to be able to handle what you can cope with. Don't bite more than you can chew.
The government should do more for the citizen, because we are expecting more from them, and that's why we have voted for them.
Nigerians were implored on the need to be more aware, watch out for each other, and also accept the fact that having symptoms of anxiety and depression does not mean one is psychotic. Bolaji Samson, Ogtv News.
Still ahead, Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, announces November 6, 2025 as date for off-cycle governorship election in Anambra State. We'll bring you more news and reports after this break. You're still watching Ogtv News. Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun has expressed his condolences to victims of a tanker fire incident in Ibafo, which resulted in significant loss and devastation. The tragic event, which occurred in the early hours of Wednesday, led to destruction of properties, including vehicles and buildings. Governor Abiodun described the inferno as unfortunate, as he commiserated with the affected ones. The governor urged tanker drivers to adhere to safety regulations related to fuel transportation and storage to prevent similar tragedies from occurring. Students have been charged to imbibe the value of integrity, righteousness, accountability, and sportsmanship in order to become worthy and proud future leaders of the country. The Ogun State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Arigbabu, gave this charge in Abeokuta during the National Quiz Competition on Legislature and Democracy organized by the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILDS, Abuja, in collaboration with the Ogun State Ministry of Education. Represented by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Science and Technology in Ogun State, Mrs. Oluwatosin Oloko, Professor Arigbabu recognized the contributions of teachers towards helping the learners to attain higher education potentials, saying their efforts and excellence would always be rewarded by Governor Dapo Abiodun's administration.
We have considered the three domains of education, which are the cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domains. We did not only encourage them academically, because we know that some of them who are very good when it comes to skills acquisition. So we encourage them to learn the vocational and different skill acquisition.
Appreciated the Institute for the innovation of intimating students with knowledge about legislation, and democracy, as he congratulated the winners for achieving the great feat of representing the state at the Southwest zonal level of the competition. In his speech, the Director General, National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, Professor Sulaiman Abubakar, represented by the state coordinator, Mrs. Abisola Ojogiwa, stated that the objective of the quiz is to provide continued education on the legislature and broaden the knowledge of students and youth on the history, practice, and procedure of the legislature, and encourage deeper understanding of civic and democratic governance. Underscoring the purpose of the event, the Director of Education, Department of Education Support Services, Dr. Mary Okeriafo, submitted that it is important to know the function, importance, and roles of the legislatures and democracy because it contributes to national development, revealing that the winner of the state category will proceed to Southwest zonal level. Meanwhile, the Ogun State Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, in conjunction with the Teaching Service Commission, TESCOM, and the State Universal Basic Education Board, SUBEB, and Ogun State Technical and Vocational Education Board, have announced the recruitment of suitable applicants as teach intern into the Ogun State Experience Acquisition Channels, Ogun Teach, a special intervention designed to fill the existing vacancies in public primary, secondary, and technical colleges in the state. A release by the State Commissioner for Education and Technology, Professor Abayomi Aribabu, indicates that interested applicants shall be expected to hold a minimum of NCE, Bachelor's in Arts Education, or Bachelor of Science and Bachelors of Arts Education with second-class lower and relevant subjects or courses, while those from other disciplines different from education must possess postgraduate diploma in education from reputable universities. The release adds that applicants for consideration for technical colleges shall only be expected to hold Bachelors of Science and Education in Technical Education, Bachelors of Science and Engineering or Bachelors in Engineering, and HND in engineering fields. Applicants shall be expected to apply through the Ogun State Job Portal by logging into www.tech.ogunstate.gov.ng. A period of online registration shall be between Wednesday 16th October and 6th November 2024. The successful applicants, to be known as teach interns, shall be deployed to local government areas in dire need of their services and will be given a stipend every month for 2 years, after which they will be assessed on a parameter ranging from expertise, commitment to duty, punctuality, respect for constituted authority, and willingness to work wherever they are posted. The National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, has stated that a significant number of illicit weapons currently in circulation in Nigeria originally belonged to the federal government. Ribadu made the statement during the arms destruction exercise conducted by the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons at Muhammadu Buhari Cantonment in Abuja. He explained that corrupt elements within the security agencies allowed these weapons to end up in the hands of non-state actors. The NSA condemned security personnel who facilitate the distribution of weapons to terrorists, bandits, and other non-state actors. The recent insecurity surge in Nigeria is a pressing concern, and the statement from the National Security Advisor sheds light on a significant factor contributing to this issue. The northern part of Nigeria has been grappling with banditry, insurgency, and kidnapping for ransom over the past decades, which has spread across other regions in the country. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has disclosed that Nigeria has been removed from watch list globally as its global aviation rating has again risen to 75.5%. The minister disclosed this during the commissioning of Juhi 2 Aviation Fuel Depot at the Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Lagos. Keyamo hinted that with this new status, Nigeria has been removed from the watch list and airlines can now access dry lease aircraft. The minister assured that very soon there won't be more aircraft in Nigeria and the Juhi 2 Aviation Fuel may need to increase its capacity to cater for the influx of aircraft into Nigeria. The House of Representatives has urged the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning to review the budgetary allocation of the Bureau of Public Procurement in line with current realities and subsequent budget estimates to enable the successful discharge of the Bureau's core mandate. The House also urged the Bureau of Public Procurement to collaborate with relevant stakeholders, including ministries, departments, and agencies, civil society organizations, and the National Assembly to enhance the provision of a legal and institutional framework and professional capacity for public procurement in Nigeria for holistic development of the country. It mandated the committees on public procurement and appropriations to follow up and ensure upward review of the Bureau's budgetary allocation in subsequent budget estimates. It also mandated the Committee on Public Procurement to conduct a thorough oversight and recommend appropriate measures that will enhance the effectiveness and efficiency of the Bureau and report within 4 weeks for further legislative action. These resolutions follow the adoption of a motion titled Need to Review Budgetary Allocation of the Bureau of Public Procurement, sponsored by Honorable Unyima Idem, during plenary. The House noted the need for the attainment of transparency, competitiveness, cost-effectiveness, value for money, and professionalism in the public sector procurement system. Members and fellows town planners of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners Ogun State Chapter converged for the 2024 annual general meeting held at the Secretariat Ijeun Lukosi in Abeokuta. Bolaji Sampson reports that it was a moment to discuss, socialize, network, and engage in discussion that birthed a new orientation in their relationships as professionals. Details in this package.
With a vision to be in the forefront in the provision and sustenance of a functional environment, Ogun State Chapter of Nigerian Institute of Town Planners held its annual general meeting. The 2024 edition serves as a platform for meaningful dialogue, strategic decisions, and innovations that enhance physical planning and urban development of Ogun State. An interactive session centered on the cross-sector collaboration in the production and implementation of development plans, imperative of synergy among ministries, departments, and agencies.
Their talents, expertise, or core competency into a specific task to achieve a set of goals by working through set objectives. So for us in our sector, we practice to say that so far so good will be a good ally the value of properties, investment in the state tends to be on the rise. From time to time, exigencies in order to take over these things. Sometimes political situation, sometimes lack of continuity in government.
The significant event also marks an opportunity for reflection and envisioning for the future of the Institute as they highlighted the benefit as a platform to inculcate more learning and improve members' level of professionalism.
The essence is for us to see that, okay, there needs to be more interrelationship, number one. Then number two, for us to know, to hear from them, whether there had been that relationship. You know, there could be some things going on that you are outside, you will not know. So, and
the crucial role town planners play in the society were applauded, while stakeholders called for synergy and collaboration in the development of planning strategy in order to achieve set goals for Ogun State. Bolaji Sampson, Ogtv News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has announced November 6, 2025 as the date for the off-cycle governorship election in Anambra State, in line with the provisions of the Electoral Act 2022. Announcing this at a meeting with leaders of political parties, INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu said a formal notice for the election will be published on 13th November 2024. The INEC Chairman said the Commission expects the party to conduct its primaries between 20th March 2025 and 10th April 2025, while the candidates nomination portal will open on 18th April 2025 and close on 12th May 2025. He said that the final list of candidates will be published on 9th June 2025. Campaigns in public by political parties will commence 11th June 2025 and end at midnight on Thursday, 6th November 2025. The electoral umpire explained that in the coming weeks, the Commission will provide details of other electoral activities, including the registration of new voters, transfer of voters, and the replacement of lost or damaged PVCs. The federal government, through the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, has advised Nigerians living around riverbanks along the River Benue Basin to quickly move to safer grounds. In a statement, NIHSA Director General Umar Mohammed warned that water on the River Benue has reached the flooding level due to increased rainfall. He also urged those along the River Niger to move to a safe location as the management of Kenje and Jeba dams are working to control the flood waters. The NIHSA boss urged Nigerians to cooperate with the emergency management agencies and work together to build resilience against flooding in Nigeria and minimize the effect of the flood. Recently, the government warned Nigerians to relocate to safe grounds after the release of water from the Lagdo Dam in Cameroon. This followed the release of water from the overflowing Alau Dam that killed over 30 persons and swept away thousands of homes in Maiduguri, the capital city of Borno State. And that story leads us to the business segment of the news.
You're welcome to Business News. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited is still the sole off-taker of premium motor spirits, popularly called petrol, from the Dangote Petroleum Refinery, despite the recent directive of the federal government that other oil marketers were free to start loading PMS from the plant. Oil marketers revealed that NNPC would continue to be sole off-taker of the product from the $20 billion USD Lekki-based plant until its agreement with the Dangote refinery as regards the lifting of PMS terminate on October 11, 2024. The federal government, in a statement from the Finance Ministry, announced that oil marketers were now free to negotiate purchase of petrol directly from the Dangote refinery without recourse to NNPC. But after meeting with officials of the Dangote refinery on Tuesday, members of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria revealed that NNPC was still the sole off-taker of Dangote petrol, pending determination of an agreement between Dangote and NNPC. The Nigeria Customs Service, NCS, has raised alarm over increased import and export of wildlife, just as it declared an emergency on pharmaceuticals and medicament. Controller General of the Service, Mr. Adeniyi Adewale, said that the agency has resolved to protect Nigeria's borders and economic interests. Adeniyi also said that the service has adopted a fresh approach in fulfilling its mandate of balancing revenue collection, facilitating trade, and ensuring compliance with the relevant laws. He stated that the scale and sophistication of these illicit activities are alarming, adding since 2018, the NCS has intercepted 20 significant shipments comprising 10,498 pieces of various arms and 114,929 pieces of ammunition, with an estimated duty paid value DPV of 9.58 billion naira. The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, is collaborating with the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, ICRC, to advance infrastructural development in Nigeria's maritime sector. The management of the ICRC, led by Dr. Jobson Ewalefo, Dr. Dayo Moburiola, NIMASA's Director General, emphasized the Commission's vital role in attracting private investors to enhance the country's maritime infrastructure. Moburiola also highlighted the importance of streamlining processes through technology, expressing confidence that the ICRC's support would enhance the NIMASA's PPP initiatives, leading to more effective service delivery for stakeholders. In his remarks, Ewalefo acknowledged the maritime sector's crucial role in Nigeria's economy. He noted that implementing the PPP model would bring in increased funding and expertise from the private sector, thereby accelerating growth in the maritime industry. He reassured NIMASA of the ICRC's commitment to collaborating on projects to ensure timely implementation. And finally, the president of the World Bank, A.J. Banga, unveiled a new simplified corporate scorecard Thursday to ensure its progress ahead of the gathering of global financial leaders in Washington next week. The bank's new yardstick of accountability has reduced the number of indicators from around 150 to just 22. Banga told reporters, adding that the simplified set of indicators should make it easier to evaluate progress ahead of the World Bank and International Monetary Fund's semi-annual gathering of senior financial policymakers in Washington next week. Banga also took stock of the reforms the development lenders has made to become bigger and better since they took office in June last year. It lauded the World Bank's progress in decreasing the average time it takes to get a new project off the ground from 19 months to 16 halfway towards its goal, to reduce it to 12 months. Banga also praised efforts to simplify the Washington-based lenders' operations and to support its different parts to collaborate more effectively on projects. And that's it on the business news. Back to Mojisola.